in Green Bay. We all know this community lives for its Packers, and the green and gold came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football, so are they, as the Packers get set to match up with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Lockett the return. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Well, that return gives him a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
Here's Rashad Penny, first carry for the former San Diego State Aztec. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Wilson. And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Dumps that off to Penny as running back. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Rashad Penny, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. And his kick is right through. Out to kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. In on the stop, it was the UCF product, Shaquem Griffin.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They do go for it. It's Rodgers. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
Well, Charles, the Seattle Seahawks, they were 8-5 going into a Week 15 game against the 49ers, a team that they had beaten 10 straight times, and then they lose that game surprisingly 26-23. And as they tried to carry momentum toward the playoffs, I was surprised at that outcome.
I was beyond surprised. I thought that game was pretty much a lock because of the momentum Seattle was bringing in, the level of play that they were bringing, and you're taking on a team in San Francisco who's on their 3rd quarterback. Although that young man, Nick Mullins, has acquitted himself quite well. But now, Seattle's got to sweat it out a little bit. The last couple of weeks of the season, trying to get one of the 2 remaining wild card spots, they've got Kansas City in a primetime game before they end up in their last game of the season. So look out for Seattle, but at the same time, they've got some work to do.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
They go play action here on first down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it second down. A handoff to Penny. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. To throw is Wilson. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Ed Dixon from 3 yards out. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Charles, let's discuss the Green Bay Packers season as they come back out here on offense. It's going to be back-to-back losing seasons in Green Bay. You have to go back to 90-91. That's pre-Brett Favre for the last time that happened. Of course, they let go of their coach in an unpacker-like home loss to Arizona. So an interesting season in Green Bay.
It certainly is, and going into the season, there was plenty of talk about another Super Bowl for Green Bay in the 2018-2019 season. So a major surprise.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. A good run on first down, and now they contemplate a 2nd and goal situation. On second down, here's Wilson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Oh, Charles, after that interception in the Super Bowl from the 1-yard line, I thought Pete Carroll would run it inside the 5 every time.
Sometimes I wonder if maybe Pete did want to run it inside the 5. But Russell Wilson, you know he's such a competitor that he doesn't want that interception to stand, that maybe he wanted to be in that spot to hold it a second. I can throw a touchdown pass. Instead, he's victimized again.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Throwing now is Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. Leaves it for Penny. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 14 down to the 14.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 12 more yards there and another first down.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the defense.
Check 50, check 50.
They come out here in the eye. Wilson on the keeper. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Russell Wilson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Out to kick is Janikowski. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They juked him. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
This is Cobb with a catch right side. Rodgers to Cobb, good for a Green Bay first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Rodgers going to throw. That's complete to Cobb. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with, some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. Here's Rodgers to throw. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And able to find Graham, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively, all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. Dancing to his left. And here he'll get it down to the 7. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Rodgers now to throw. Looking middle, and it's in.